Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's project is going to be replacing spark plugs. I'm going to show you how to do it. These instructions are specifically for the Hyundai 1.6 liter turbocharged engine that I've got in the 2017 Tucson. This engine is also used in other models too, so the same instructions would apply. Models such as the Hyundai Veloster from 2013 through 19, the Hyundai Elantra Sport from 2018 and 19, the Kia Optima, also the Hyundai Sonata from 2015 to 2019, the Kia Optima, like I said, the Kia Soul also uses this engine as optional. Because it is a turbo, the recommended replacement interval on the spark plugs is half of what it would normally be. It's about 45,000 miles, which a lot of people might not realize that. But because of the extra boost going on from the turbo and the high pressure from the direct injection, there's a lot more opportunity for spark plugs to wear out faster than what they would normally wear. They are long-lasting plugs, but these small turbo engines do work very hard, and they can wear them out. And if your spark plugs wear out, you'll get reduced gas mileage, reduced performance, and it could lead to a misfire. You could get a misfire which would throw a code and turn your check engine light on, and so all that. So they recommend 45,000 miles. It's a fairly easy job. The only tools that you're going to need are going to be a 10mm socket, a 5/8 inch spark plug socket, and of course your ratchet and extension. Also, the spark plugs that we're going to be using today are genuine OEM Hyundai spark plugs. They're made by a Japanese company called NGK, and I'll put the part number in the description below. And these they're pretty expensive. They're about $22 if you buy them through a dealer. You can buy them online cheaper from a genuine Hyundai online parts place. But this is what they look like. They have an iridium center electrode and platinum on the outer electrode. And the threads are plated, so you do not need any anti-seize compound on there. Don't use any compound on these. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove this engine cover. This plastic engine cover is held on by three clips, or three clips, two in the back and one in the front. You simply pull up and lift it off. And if you see on the back of it, there's one, and there's another one. There's one right there. Set that off to the side. From here you can see the attachment points where that goes. 1, 2, and where's that third one? Right there. Once you've got the cover off, you can see the top of the engine. You've got your two camshaft covers. This is a dual overhead cam engine. And in the middle, you've got your 4 ignition coils. We're going to need to remove the coil because the plug is underneath the coil. And that is where the 10mm socket will come in handy. Now, some people recommend unplugging the wire harness right here and unplugging it and removing the coil completely. If you do that, you'll need to slide up this gray tab here. I'm not going to do that because I believe that there will be enough space to move the coil aside so we can get to the plug. But the bolt is right there. Little extension does come in handy for this because of the space in here. Okay? Once you've got that enough, you can do the rest by hand, actually. Pull that out. And that's the one bolt holding on the coil. So you'll want to put that someplace and not lose it. Now, once you do that, you can simply pull the coil up, and the coil will come out of the spark plug hole. Yeah, we can move that aside, no problem with that. As you can see, down in there is your spark plug. We'll put on spark plug socket and put it way down in there. Okay, let's see if we can lift it out. And there we go. There's one. And now, put the spark plug, the new spark plug, into the socket. And we're going to take off the ratchet. We're going to start this by hand. So we go down in. You don't want to cross thread. You want to make sure it goes in smooth. If there's any binding, go back out, do it again, and just start screwing it down. Okay, now we can put the ratchet back on. It's Now, if you have access to a torque wrench, it would always be a good idea to check the torque on the spark plug. You don't want to over tighten it because it is an aluminum head. Okay. So that should be on there real good. And then we go and put the coil back and push it down until you hear a pop. It only goes on one way. The hole has to go where the bolt is. So, pop, right there. And then we will take our 10mm. Okay, and that's done. So that's one spark plug down, and we're going to do the other three the exact same way. I want to bring you in a little bit closer here on the other side. I've already put the coil packs back on for number 2, number 3. I want to bring you back in for number 4. On this particular engine, the number 4 coil and plug is underneath this wire connector that goes to this. This is the direct injection high pressure fuel pump for the fuel system, and it's right underneath this wire connector. So it would be best to unplug the fuel pump. All you need to do is push the tab that's on this side of the connector, push it in and pull it out. So we're gonna do that. And so we've unplugged the high pressure fuel pump. You can move that aside. It gives us better access to the coil bolt. Okay. And there's the number 4 ignition coil. All right, and there we go. And now putting the new plug in, we are going to put it straight in, start it down, where it goes nice and straight and smooth. Okay. Tight. All right. And now we can put our number 4 ignition coil back and fitting it underneath that connector. Okay, push it down until it clicks. Yeah, that's in place. Okay. And here we go with our 10mm ignition coil bolt. And we'll put the ratchet on it to get a little bit more torque on it. Good. And then once you're done with the number 4, you want to remember to plug back in your high pressure fuel pump connector. The tab slot, this tab slot right there goes on the far side, so it goes straight in like that, and it should be locked in place. Okay, well, now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and button it up and put the engine cover back on. Okay. And there we go. Done. Now that you've got your old spark plugs out, this is a good opportunity to check the spark plug tips, and you can kind of get any ideas of whether there's anything serious going on wrong inside your engine, because the tips are right in, you know, the thick of things when your engine is working, and if there's any major engine problems, you'll probably see it reflected in the plug. You look at the tip, and these all look pretty much the same. Light wear, like light colored normal wear. What you don't want to see, the one thing that you do not want to see on spark plugs, is greasy oil, sludgy residue. That's really bad on the tip, because that would mean that oil is getting into your cylinders. It could be that your piston rings are not good, are leaking, or your valve stem seals are leaking, and oil is getting in through the intake and somehow getting in and getting burned with the fuel. Also, if you see a lot of carbon deposits, a lot of black soot and carbon, that could mean you have a problem with your fuel injection. You're running it too rich. That would be something to look for. If there's white residue, that could mean that you've got some coolant being burned in the cylinder, and that would be indicating a blown head gasket, really. So the spark plugs can really give you a good idea of the health of your engine if you look at them, and these seem to have pretty much normal wear on them. Okay, one more thing I want to cover that you can do at the same time that you do your spark plugs is change your air filter, your engine air filter. It's very easy, but this air filter is just slightly different than many others that you've seen before that simply slide right in, and I'll show you how. I'm using an OEM genuine Hyundai filter. And as you can see, it's got a couple of rods over here on the side, and I'll show you how these fit in. This is very easy to replace your engine air filter right up here on the top. There's arrows that say pull down. So you pull down to open it up, and inside you'll see these two little things right here, one on either side. You push it down toward the outside. There's a little arrow to unlock the filter, like that, and like that, and then you can grab the middle piece over here and slide that right out. Now, yeah, the back side of this filter is a little bit dirty. It's been in here for 45,000 miles, almost 3 years. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's some good amount of dirt caught up in there inside the paper folds here. Inside the air box, it is nice and clean. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to replace this with our clean one. And you put it in the same way that you took it out. Basically slide that in, and then you move these locking tabs up. Okay. And that one goes up like that. And there you have it. Brand new air filter. That's it. We got new spark plugs and a new air filter on the 1.6 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This is something that you can do yourself. The only little thing that might take you a little bit of time is that number 4 spark plug under that wiring harness. If you can remove it, that would be better. But you don't need to remove the wires from the coil packs as you saw. You can just move them out of the way. That's not a problem. Like I said, they recommend every 45,000 miles to keep getting the best gas mileage that you can, and she should run as good as new. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully this gave you a little bit of helpful instruction to keep your car running like new. See you next time.